Hey everybody, hope you're all doing okay. We're here with a new update from Six Flags Magic Mountain. I went to the park just before the weekend, got the latest updates coming to Fright Fest, all the prep that's going. Fright Fest starts actually a week from Saturday, so we got a lot of Fright Fest going on. Also just some random things around the park and a look at what's going on near the Golden Bear Theater. It looks like they've been doing a little bit more work over there, so we'll take you by there as well. So just a quick update today. But before I get into that, make sure you click below to subscribe to our channel. As always, it is greatly appreciated. All right, everybody, so we're going to start here in the front of the park. So you might not notice a change that was made here since our last visit, or over the last couple of weeks or month. No sandwich boards out in front of the park. Apparently there was some kind of directive from pretty high up in the new chain asking to remove those sandwich boards that don't fit the theme of the area. So that's one of the very small changes you might start seeing around the park in the not too distant future. Just, you know, maybe some very minor things that we'll try to catch on our visits. But we're going to dive right into Fright Fest here. We've got look at the Devil's Triangle right up here in the top of the the front of the park. This is the same as it was last year, pretty much. I think the decorations are a little bit more out in the plaza as well. Lots more of the nautical theme. It really fits the fountain really well. So really enjoy this area, and it's a great kickoff to Fright Fest, of course. Head up into one of our absolute favorite scare zones of any Halloween event. That would be Nightmares up on the top of the hill here between Revolution and Roaring Rapids / Tatsu. So this is, again, this is a blacklight scare zone. It's an absolute fan favorite, one of our absolute favorites. Has some of our favorite characters here at Fright Fest, including our dear friend Lorraine and all her minions and friends here in Nightmares. So we'll link to a couple of those videos here that we got from last year. Last year there was a few new characters, and they really started developing as the event went on, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how those characters grow here in 2024 in this fantastic scare zone, one of our absolute favorites. Not just at Fright Fest, but of any Halloween events. It's always one that we spend quite a bit of time in throughout our visits to Fright Fest every year, and it does look like there's some new decorations here this year as well, including that, I think, that spider from Red's Revenge and some of the webs here from Red's Revenge that they pulled out into the scare zone, which is fantastic. We'll move out here to the back of the park here. The Horror Emporium will be opening, I'm sure, very soon. This is where you can get all of your Fright Fest stuff. They also did have Saw and Conjuring shirts out here last year. So I'm going to guess that you might also see some Trick or Treat and other shirts here this year. So here is where they're going to do the Aftermath. So I'm assuming Aftermath entrance will be exactly where you see it right here. This is where it's been for quite a while. And to nobody's surprise, they announced at Midsummer Scream they were taking half of Aftermath and using it for the day of the zombie mazes, and that's where the entrance is going to be. So definitely looking forward to that. Kind of continuing that theme as well, the Dead Zone does look like it's getting a little expanded for 2024. Typically this area was just this here, which was kind of like the mini gauntlet, you know, maze thing. There wasn't really anything in the middle of the underground, but you can see in just a second here as I spin around to the middle of the scare zone here that they have now starting putting props in all of the area of the underground, not just in this little gate area between the fence there for West Coast Racers and the little fence there. So yeah, they're starting to put decorations out in the middle. Apparently zombies got to use the restroom at some point too, so a couple of outhouses, and I'm sure people will be jumping out at you and things like that. But even decorations extending all the way out towards West Coast Racers, the entrance to West Coast Racers. I think some of these were there last year. The signs were definitely there last year in this area, but all of these little fences and things like that for monsters to hide behind. I don't think those were there last year. I'd have to look back, but I don't think so. And I think this was probably in a different spot as well, that Fright Fest sign. And then you can see the decorations go all the way around to the taco place here. So yeah, it looks like they're using basically all of the underground this year for the scare zone, which is fantastic to see. Moving on, this is the tent that is behind, basically between Riddler's Revenge and Wonder Woman. This will be for Trick or Treat. So the tent went up probably about a month ago or so. So obviously we can't see inside as far as what they're doing, but you can see the entrance and exit is being laid here. So you've got the this must be maybe the ADA entrance or the ADA exit, but I'm going to guess that both are pretty ADA accessible here. But you can see that they've started adding different walkways and things like that to the outside of the maze. And then here is the Saw maze. I think this facade is going to be changing a little bit prior to opening night of Fright Fest here. So it looks like they've removed, or they've taken down some of the lighting rigs here, probably in advance of that. So as of right now, it may already be changed. And then over in the DC Universe area, we think it's funny they put out the Christmas balls, but they actually worked really well for Fright Fest last year. So looking forward to having those back as well. And then some new lighting rigs that they've put. If you remember back in the day, they used to have a light tunnel kind of in the middle of DC Universe. It looks like they're kind of bringing that back a little bit, which will be awesome. And one thing I did notice, kind of not Fright Fest related, I'm going to stop talking and just listen to how quiet the roundup is. So that is one of the oldest attractions at Magic Mountain, and they are maintaining it so well. So kudos to the Magic Mountain maintenance team. Something you probably don't hear too much, but kudos to them for taking care of that classic flat ride. Here we've got the new scare zone taking shape in the Whistle Park here next to the train and the roller coaster there, the kiddie coaster, which I think, looking back, I think that was my very first credit as a kid. It was Clown Coaster way back then. And then very lastly, like I mentioned, it does look like they're doing a little bit more work here in this area where the Golden Bear Theater was. These walls definitely have been pushed out some from our last update. So they are pretty much even with the fence there that goes up to full throttle. So some work is being done. Nothing has been announced yet for 2025, and in the list of Six Flags coasters coming out in 2025, this was not among them. So I wouldn't expect to see anything here for 2025. It will be for 2026 once all is said and done. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. We're going to have a new video up hopefully later on this week. We're going to go in a little bit deeper into the Six Flags passes. There was a lot of questions from our video that we put out a couple of weeks ago that was done admittedly rather quickly. So we're going to go through those questions that were submitted on our YouTube channel. There's actually quite a lot of them. I think 30 to 35 comments on there right now that need some follow-up. So we're going to do a quick follow-up video later on this week as well. So stay tuned for that. We will be at Fright Fest. We're not quite sure what day we're going to be at Fright Fest yet. The weekend of opening weekend is the Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon, and I am running that on that Sunday. So we'll be down in Anaheim that weekend. But I'm sure we'll be catching Fright Fest the following weekend, which will be the 14th or so. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching again, and we'll talk to you soon.